Alright, so today we're going to be talking about our two upcoming characters, Baizhu and Kaveh. Now, Baizhu and Kaveh are both going to be DENDRO characters coming out in 3.6, and the fact that Baizhu and Kaveh are both going to be DENDRO, this leads us to, I guess you could say, an interesting situation regarding where they are going to be in terms of DENDRO, and basically where they're going to be in terms of teams. But before we get into that, make sure to leave a sub and like for the Genshin content if you're enjoying it. Also, let me know if you're excited for Baizhu and Kaveh, or you're gonna summon for either or. And of course, in the background I got the new Spiral Abyss gameplay to keep you some entertainment while I'm talking around it. But we're gonna be talking about Baizhu and Kaveh, and I want to talk about how basically we are completing DENDRO out right now. We're basically fulfilling all the roles that need to be fulfilled, and we have basically all of them done. We do have Alhaitham and Tighnari being the the main DPSs, the primary DPSs. You have Yao Yao as a healer, you have Kawlai and Nahida as support, I guess you could say, and you have DENDRO Traveler as support as well. So you do have a lot of different types of roles already fulfilled in Sumeru, and basically miHoYo or Hoyoverse has basically fleshed out DENDRO for the most part throughout this whole Sumeru patch. And I think they're doing this because as time goes on, once we're out of Sumeru, we're not going to be getting as many DENDRO characters as frequently, of course, because they're just trying to flesh out a new element than what was previously, what we had before Sumeru came out. As we explore into Fontaine and Natlin and Shiznaya, we're not going to be seeing as much DENDRO characters. Hopefully we see more in the future at, this, not the same rate, but a good steady rate. But for the most part, they're trying to get as much as they can done in Sumeru, because later on, of course, you're gonna have to move on to more elements. Fontaine being a more hydro focused nation, we're gonna get more hydro units possibly, and then you gotta do pyro, geo, electro, all of these different characters or different elements that they gotta make it. DENDRO's gonna be put into that mix. So looking at Baizhu and Kaveh, what roles would we want them to be, or what they should be, to be able to complete out DENDRO? Like I said, we do have majority of the roles filled, and for the most part, all of them are really good and do well very exceptionally. Of course, characters like Kawlai and Traveler, these are the more budget picks for DENDRO. They are the more accessible picks for DENDRO. They're both still very good. DENDRO as itself is a really good element by itself, being able to produce so many different good reactions, so they're good regardless. But then you have all the other characters that have a butt ton of utility, such as Yao Yao with their healing and good DENDRO application, Nahida with their infinite DENDRO application and EM sharing, Alhaitham with this really high DENDRO DPS, and then Tighnari with the same thing, very high DPS for DENDRO. So there's a lot of really good things that DENDRO has going for it right now, but there's one thing that I think 100% that needs to be a part of one of their kits, as far as we officially know, because we don't know anything for sure about Baizhu and Kaveh officially. Baizhu is a I guess you could say a doctor or something like that, a medicine maker in Leeway, and if he's medicine type stuff, he's probably going to be a healer or a 5-star healer for DENDRO possibly. But what we really need, in my honest opinion, I think this type of reaction or this type of role would help a lot of characters out little than we know, because it's actually going to be very strong if they do this. Being a DENDRO shielder, because if it's a DENDRO shielder, think about it. DENDRO shielder is going to be able to help a lot of these characters that are getting thrown around during their DPS rotations, during their support rotations and all that, and having that option of having a DENDRO shield plus being able to apply DENDRO to enemies is going to help out a good amount of characters. Sino is going to be somebody who's going to be able to benefit from this, because if you're able to apply DENDRO and then you put a shield on, Sino won't be able to get flung around. Nilo for sure, this is my favorite possibility, that if one of these characters have a shield, this is gonna make me so happy, because Nilo desperately needs that shield, because while she's doing her skill, she has her invincibility frames, right? But as soon as you try to do anything else, try to switch to other characters while you're in the middle of all these other characters getting hit by all these blooms, she gets thrown around, she gets hit around, and it's annoying trying to switch between characters because you're getting flung around, hit, and it's just super annoying to deal with. Having a DENDRO shielder is going to help her with her teams, because as you may know, Nilu's bountiful core teams only can have Hydro and DENDRO, so having another DENDRO character is going to help her out, flush out that team if it's going to put another spot that can be filled with a better unit. Since Yao Yao is a 4-star healer, it makes sense that Baizhu might be the better version of Yao Yao, have a little bit better DENDRO application, possibly have better healing, and this can help out Nilu's team very, very good. Now for other characters like, you know, I'll hide them and stuff like that, I don't know for sure, because I'll hide them team is pretty fleshed out with Nahida, Kuki, and Yelan or Xingqiu. So, you know, there's a lot of different possibilities that you could have with Baizhu being a healer slash shielder if he has it. But another character I also want to look at is Kaveh. So Kaveh, I have no idea what this dude could be. This dude can fulfill a lot of different roles, or he could be an overlap of one that's already there. It would be nice, like I said, to have more DENDRO application units, because I know we already have a good amount of them. They're already really good, but I want to be able to create more teams with the DENDRO units, and of course I want this to be more accessible to a lot of the accounts or players that are playing and don't have a lot of these newer units, these 5-star units like, you know, Tainari, Nahida, Alhaitham, all of these really cool DENDRO 5 stars. I want there to be 4-star equivalent versions of that. So since Kaveh is, I guess you could say, there's no main DPS 4-star, basically, Kaveh would be a cool, you know, basically mirror of Alhaitham. You know, funny enough that they're so closely related. Kaveh being a main DPS 4-star would be kind of cool, but I would have no idea how they would make a difference between Alhaitham and Kaveh. I am really excited to see what they're going to do with their last 2 kits, because basically with these 2 last characters, as of course we don't know 100% for sure, but we are at the end of sumeru. In all honesty, they're going to be putting out double rerun patches or double rerun banners very soon, with both halves of a patch being reruns, because we still got lots of left over to do. We still have Kazuha, Klee, Eula, Kokomi, Nilu, Nahida, Wanderer, Alhaitham. Now I know Wanderer and Alhaitham are very recent, but at quote unquote they still need to be run in the future regardless. But there's a lot of characters that still need to be run. There's a lot of characters that haven't been rerun, and like I said, this is MiHoYo's own undoing, because, you know, the banner system that they have right now doesn't really help with the ongoing growing character list. So we're gonna have to see some of these reruns very soon. So, you know, Baizhu and Kaveh very well might be the last DENDRO 5 stars coming, or DENDRO 5-star and 4-star, I'm assuming, coming to sumeru, and I guess you could say to the game right now, because like I said, DENDRO is going to be in absence very soon, because, you know, us going into Fontaine, Natlin, Shiznaya, all these other countries. Not saying that we won't get more DENDRO units, but the frequency and the timing of when we get them is going to be drastically reduced, because we still have to come out with other element characters. And I'm excited for all of this. I'm just very excited for these 2 characters to finish out all of what DENDRO needs. And then we're gonna see what all these newer characters, you know, all these new Hydro characters, Electro characters, Pyro characters, all of what these new units can do with DENDRO. So this is gonna be very exciting moving on to other nations, because we're gonna be able to see what DENDRO does with those reactions, and of course all the other existing reactions as well. So I'm very excited for Baizhu, very excited for Kaveh. It's going to be really nice to see DENDRO being flushed out, completed fully. And especially whatever they can make in the future as well, besides these 2. So other than that, that's going to be pretty much it when it comes to this video. I'm very excited for Baizhu and Kaveh. I'm also excited to cover Mika when he comes out. I will be summoning. There will be a video for the summons, me trying to get a copy of him, and then we're gonna test him out. I'll let you know if he's even worth try to pull, whatever, but most likely just chill out and don't summon unless you're a big Eula fan or main. You might want to just hold off for Mika and wait to get him on another banner or off raid or something like that. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.